Now, Seeds for the Future 2023 offers college students or recent graduates of all academic backgrounds the opportunity to join an online experience around technological innovation, tech for good, global competition, and intercultural exchange. And so joining us this morning to talk more about it are the Public Relations Manager at Huawei TT, Trisha Henry, and Solutions Manager and participant of the first cohort, Ms. Valine Rampasad. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Trisha, I always see you online, so it's finally good to see you in the studio.
In person, yes.
Yes. And I'm going to start with you because Seeds for the Future, tell us about the program first of all, and then get into exactly how that program can benefit us here in TNT.
Thank you again so much, Kimberly, for having us. I just wanted to start off by saying, Huawei is a global ICT company headquartered in Shenzhen, but we operate in 197 countries and territories all over the world. So we really have such a global reach, and we are one of the, as I say, leading global tech companies. So one of the things that we want to do is to make sure that technology is being, the knowledge of technology is being transferred because it's changing so rapidly and there's so many new technologies coming out. So the Seeds for the Future program is actually Huawei's biggest global corporate social responsibility program. That's a training that we offer to university students all over the world. We actually have about 500 universities all over the world that are participating in the program since it started in 2008 in Thailand. And we actually here in Trinidad and Tobago are part of that program now. We have been part of the program since 2016, and this has offered 90 students between 2016 and 2022 the opportunity to be part of this training. What does the training entail? It's really, as you mentioned, technology mixed with cultural training. What we found is that globally, a lot of university students, because this is a program offered to university students who are studying STEM studies, and a lot of university students get a lot of theoretical training, and then they go into the workplace, and because technology is changing so rapidly, they really find it hard to apply what they've theoretically learned into the workplace. So this program is really to allow those students to have more of a practical sense of what's going on in the ICT space. So they get to learn technologies such as 5G, artificial intelligence, which everyone is talking about now, virtual reality, cloud, all these different new technologies that are coming out that everyone is so excited about. They get to actually have hands-on training in it because Huawei is actually one of the leading companies in all those technologies. The program also offers the students the opportunity to speak to experts in those fields. So it's experts from Huawei as well as from other companies as well outside of Huawei who can talk to them about how you can apply the technology to everyday challenges that you find. Because that's really what technology is all about.
Now, Trisha, you mentioned from 2016 to 2022, 90 students. How many will you be taking across this year?
So this year we're going to have 10 lucky students who are, we're not taking them to China because unfortunately we've had to switch the program to an online program due to the pandemic in 2020. For the last 3 years, we've had it online. This year, we're actually going to be taking 10 students to Costa Rica in the region because now we're having a Latin America, Caribbean regional Seeds for the Future program. It's going to feature 80 students from Latin America and the Caribbean, the top university students who are going to meet in Costa Rica to have a hybrid program. So there are going to be some offline learning activities and online learning activities. And what this also helps to facilitate as well is the cultural exchange, because it allows all the students to intermingle and learn more about each other's countries and culture as well.
Valine, I want to come across to you because I know that you were a part of the first cohort. Is it that you went to China during that year?
Yes.
Tell us about the experience and some of the things you learned.
Nice. So I was fortunately in the inaugural cohort from the University of the West Indies, and fortunately I was the only girl as well. So I would have went across to China in 2016, and I would have learned about technologies we are using today. For instance, cloud, AI. So it was like stepping into the future, and then 8 years has passed almost, or 7, right? And coming in and working at Huawei now, I've dealing hands-on with these technologies. So that experience, they translated so well to my workplace now, and that intercultural exchange is really exactly emulate it now in the workplace. So I'm able to work with Latin America folks, the Chinese folks, even my peers in Trinidad. So I really had that overall growth in the intercultural space.
Yeah. Valian, something very interesting you said. You said that you were the only girl there in that program. Given that sort of 7-8 year time span, have you seen more women moving into technology?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so proud to see it as well. And the good thing is that the university actually pushes more of the girls in the ICT, which I'm so happy to see. And we definitely need more of that woman leadership. And I have seen excellent leaders come out from the program as well. As Trisha mentioned, 90 students so far. And some of them already work with us and has passed through the internships, and I've really seen excellent candidates.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I hope I'm not too forward in saying you're a success story, right? You were part of the first cohort, and now you are solutions manager for Huawei TNT. I mean, what sort of advice can you give for people looking at the program now and maybe thinking about applying to the program next year?
Definitely apply, because this is an opportunity to hone your professional development from a young age. So this is one of the unique programs, especially in the ICT field, that you encounter when you're in your second year in school, rather than you finish and you're looking for internships. So this is a global CSR initiative that happens in your second year. So you're able to hone at the tender age of 19 or 20, when you're in this age, to really interact with experts, with like-minded individuals, as well as your future peers in the ICT sector, and not just in your country. You're dealing regionally, so you're opening yourselves to opportunity. So just having this as a something that you did on your resume is going to go a very, very long way for you. So I highly recommend it, and I say please go for it and apply.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Trisha, I'm coming back to you in terms of what students can look forward to in their future careers. Now, while we may not have all the jobs, but what other future paths can they take if they participate in this program?
So what we try to encourage students to understand, again, as I say, is that technology can really be applied to any industry. So it's really, if you're interested in banking, you can apply technology to the finance sector. You can apply technology to, if you're working in agriculture, if you're working on the port, if you're working in manufacturing. So it's really about how can I take what I've learned and apply it to what I want to do. We have actually had students interact with past participants globally who have actually started their own startups. So that's also something that students can think about as well. Huawei does try to offer, as Vani said, internship opportunities, and where there's an opportunity to work with Huawei here in Trinidad and Tobago, we actually take students on to work with us, because we really see that these are some of the best and brightest. We've had, as I said, 90 students from the University of the West Indies and from UTT that participate, and we're really excited that this year we're going to reach the milestone 100 students. So we really look forward to doing something like that. What we hope and what we expect is that this can truly build that whole ICT ecosystem and culture within Trinidad and Tobago, because we talk about diversification and we talk about digital transformation, but the human resource element, the talent that's needed to drive that, that's what this program is really all about. It's about creating and honing and developing that talent, and that's a very, very big deal for Huawei.
Can we also talk about the criteria for admission to the program? Because I know people may be looking forward to when the 2024 cohort rolls around. Tell us where we can go to get more information on any tertiary level student who's looking on now. What sort of things you need to have to apply?
Right. So this year, I should mention, the program is going to be taking place in Costa Rica, October 9th to the 16th.
Right.
So we are looking for students from university year 2 and up. We are looking for the brightest students who have, in the 3.0 GPA or above, the equivalent of Trinidad and Tobago. And really and truly, we want students that are studying STEM studies, but we've also opened it up to students outside of STEM who might be studying business or management, who have an interest in ICT. The coursework is highly ICT intensive, but if you have an interest, you can also be part of it. We want students who are open to learning, who are open to exchange, obviously who have a good command of English, because the whole program is done in English. But really it's about those students who are the brightest and have the willingness to be part of this program. Today, actually, we're going to be having a regional online session that's going to tell students a lot more about the program. So we've already reached out to the universities, and they are going to have students on to hear more about what are the criteria. So the application process has actually started.
Nice.
Students can apply at this point. They can check with their universities. The application process is open until the 15th of July, after which we will have an interview process. Because it's very, very competitive
I would imagine.
in terms of getting into the program.
Yes.
So we'll have an interview process and pick the top 10 students who will be going to Costa Rica.
In terms of costs, are there any costs associated with this travel or this internship or anything like that?
This is all sponsored by Huawei, so it's really free for the students. Even, you know, when we used to take the students to China, it was a completely Huawei-sponsored program.
Yeah.
So what we want is to give everyone access to this opportunity. So it really doesn't matter. We don't want to, you know, have the digital divide, have people not have access. So we really want everyone who's going to university, who meets the criteria, to really have this opportunity. So Huawei has, as I said, it's one of our biggest global social responsibility programs. We spend a lot of money on it, and we want to make sure that everyone has that opportunity to be a part of it.
Yeah. Marlene, I'm coming back to you because I'm also wondering as well, you know, how people can get more interested in ICT, because you mentioned you went away in 2016 to China and you saw a piece of the future basically.
Yes.
in terms of what we're using now.
Yes.
And that was years ago. And so how do you get people thinking ICT, thinking that technology is not necessarily a bad thing, but it actually can help you with some of your day-to-day activities?
Yes. So as Trisha mentioned, some of the industry fields there is, right, you know, the port, the transport, and these kind of things. The field of ICT is so big, it expands through medicine, through agriculture. So by just doing the program, you don't actually have to be studying STEM. You can just have a very keen interest and apply, show your willingness to learn about it. And just by doing the program, you'll understand more and you can share with your peers what you have learned. And that cultivates this a community of, you know, everybody is excited to hear how ICT can help them and not just replace jobs or to diminish their roles or whatever they're studying.
Because that is a real fair. Yes.
But it really how it can help them to now do better in whatever field they're studying. And we have seen, as Trisha mentioned, some students have probably started have done their startups. Some of the tech for good is just not in the traditional ICT field, but is at a common field and how they apply the tech for it. So that project actually shows them how ICT is helping them in all different walks of life.
Yeah. And Trisha, my final question for you, how do you think this program can help the tertiary education in TNT? Quickly, because we only have 1 minute.
It's basically for the universities to be able to offer more opportunities to their students and give them more opportunities for hands-on learning in the fields that they're studying. So it really is a great opportunity, and I'd like to thank the universities of the West Indies and UTT for being willing participants of this program for the last 7 years. So we look forward to working with them again.
And Trisha, remind us again, anybody wants to get more information, where can they go?
So we actually, they can actually check with their universities. We have reached out, as I said, to the University of the West Indies and UTT, so they can check with their university lecturers, etc., so that they can get more information through there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, Trisha, Marlene, thank you so much for joining us this morning. All the best to the folks who are going to Costa Rica at the end of the year. And I hope that, you know, some people, the people who participate, those 10 lucky people, can actually take and bring back what they've learned to boost our ICT sector here. So thank you so much for joining us, ladies.
Thank you so much.
And of course, that was Trisha Henry, Public Relations Manager at Huawei TT and Solutions Manager and one of the participants at the first cohort, Ms. Marlene Rampasar, just sharing about the Seeds for the Future program. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Stay with us.